Hello, I'm Liviu Bălan and today I will speak about SSH Key-Based Authentication. In this tutorial, you will learn about SSH Key Pair, about SSH Key Authentication. You will learn a little about how SSH works in this client-side mode. You will learn how to generate and remote copy SSH keys, and also I will give you some hints about SSH. So let's get started. First of all, as you can see here, I'm having an Ubuntu server installed on VirtualBox, and I will connect to this VirtualBox using SSH. As in my previous tutorials, on my left side I have the code, the commands that I will use in this tutorial, and on my right side is the console, is the terminal from my current operating system, from my host operating system. So first of all, I will connect to my VirtualBox machine using SSH. Here I will have to type yes. If you want to learn more about this message and how to install SSH on a VirtualBox machine, you can watch one of my tutorials that you can find on YouTube, and also you can see some more info on my website liviubalan.com. Okay, next I will have to type the password on my VirtualBox machine for the user Liviu, and as you can see now, I'm connected with my user Liviu on Ubuntu VM on my VirtualBox machine. Okay, as you can see, the process is something like I call SSH and then I will have to type my remote password. But what I want to achieve is I want to type SSH, this command here, and I don't want to type any password. To do this, I will have to use the authentication based on SSH keys. Okay, first of all, let's get back a little to our presentation. On my second slide, I talk a little about SSH Key Pair. When you generate an SSH key, it comes in pair. Something like you don't need to generate only one key, you always generate two keys. One key, usually named ID_RSA, is the private key, and you will have to use it on your client side or on your local machine. The public key, usually named ID_RSA.pub, is the key that you will copy on the SSH server, on the remote server. In this picture, you can see more and understand more about how SSH works. As you can see, here is my laptop and here is my server. In this case, my VirtualBox machine. When you connect to your server using SSH, first the SSH connection is initiated. The client sends some data to the server, and the server sends some random challenge message. The client in this case my laptop, encrypt a message that I want to send here using my private key. My private key meaning IDRSA. This is the name of a file. You will see in a moment. Then the server receives the message and then decrypt the message using the public key that is stored on the server. The public key is id_sa.pub. Okay, but how can you generate this key and how can you use it in real life? To generate a pair of keys, a public and a private and a public key, you will have to use this command SSH Key Gen, and to copy a key from your local machine to a remote machine you will use SSH Copy ID. Okay, let's get back a little to our environment. Okay, first of all I will have to connect to my remote server. Now the login process is based on a password. I saw you saw this a little earlier. Now I will exit, and here I am on my local machine. Now I will use SSH Key Gen. And you will be prompted to enter a file in which to save the key. I will let the default as is, and the file you will see that is saved in my home folder, SSH directory, IDRSA. Press enter, then you have to enter a passphrase. This is optional, so I will enter OK. Okay, now the keys are generated, and if you want to find them, you can search inside your home directory .ssh. Here you can see the IDRSA and IDRSA.pub. These are the keys that we will use, the public key and the private key. Okay, now what I have to do is to copy my key, in this case IDRSA.pub, to my remote machine. Okay, to do this you will have to use SSH Copy ID and user at host. What this instruction do is take the content of this file and copy it remotely inside the home folder liveview of user liveview from the host http://livviewbalan.com and put it inside a directory named .ssh. You will see in a moment. Press enter. Enter the remote password for liveview at http://livviewbalan.com, and now you have been prompted that the remote key was added. The key was added remotely. Okay, now if I connect to my machine using SSH, and if I go to my home folder, here I'm seeing my SSH directory. Go to SSH, and now let's see what is inside of it. If I go to authorized keys and I take a look here, I will see this kind of stuff. If I open a terminal, another terminal, and I go to and I open VI with VI SSH idrsa.pub, as you can see, this is the same content, meaning that when I used this command, the content of idrsa.pub from my current .ssh directory was copied remotely. Okay, so I have my keys. Locally. I have my private key locally. I have my private key remotely. So what I have to do is to use SSH again, and as you can see, I'm not prompted to enter any password. I type SSH User at host and I log into my remote machine without entering any password. Okay, but now I am able to use both password and keys. If I use this command, if I use this command, I'm logged in remotely based on my keys. If I want to use password instead, I can use this method, this command. So even if I have keys entered here, I explicitly have to enter my password. The reason behind this is maybe I have an expired key or a broken key, and I want to log into my web server based on my password. Okay. What do you have to remember is that your public and private key are related to your current user. If I switch to another user, let's say Liviu, now as you can see I'm on my local machine, and I want to use the same command again. You will see here that this message comes up. This is because on my current user Liviu, I already have a key, but that key is not the key that I use to log into my virtual machine. So what I have to do in this situation is to go to my .ssh directory and move the known host to known host.backup. Now, if I want to connect to my remote machine using SSH, I am able to do it even from the other user. But as you can see, I have to type the password. Let's switch to livable and back. And now I'm on my local machine. As you can see, to copy a key remotely, you will have to use this command, SSH Copy ID. This is one of the commands that you can use after you install the SSH on your machine. But if you don't have this, this key, you can use a hack. Let's see how it works. Let's use SSH to connect to my server. I will connect to my server here, and I will go to my SSH directory, and I will remove authorized key. After I do this, if I go here and try to log in again, I'm prompted to enter my password because my public key isn't copied to the server. So from here I will have to use this long command. Let's copy it and paste it here. I'm prompted to enter my password, and if I go remotely to my SSH server, you see the authorized key here. What this command do is taking my idrsa.pub content, pass it to SSH command, and remotely is creating a directory .ssh inside my home directory, and copy inside SSH authorized key the value from IDRSA from my local operating system. If you look closer, this command isn't working like SSH Copy ID. For example, okay, it copied my directory, it copied my file, but if you look at the permissions, for example, when I use SSH Copy ID, I only have permission of read and write for the user, in this case leave you, and for the long instruction that I shown you earlier, the permissions are others than the SSH Copy ID. So be very careful when you use this trick, this hack, because you can have some surprises. Okay, if you go to SSH directory again, you will see that here I'm having IDRSA, IDRSA.pub, no host, stuff like this. So when you use SSH to connect to the machine, IDRSA is used as my private key. So if I remove authorized key from the server, I will not be able to log into my remote machine by keys, but only by typing the password. What I want to achieve now is the following. I will remove all the files here, and I will generate a new key, but I will not want to put this key inside my SSH folder, and you will see in a moment why. So I will create a new folder inside my home /.ssh directory, and in this folder I will generate a new key. As you can see here, I specified the location for the new key by using -f. I will have to enter a passphrase. Let's enter a passphrase to see a little how it works. And if you look inside the SSH directory, you will see the new folder created. So here are my private and my public key, and these keys are inside of a directory of .ssh. Okay, now I want to connect to my now I want to copy my key remotely. As you can see here, I don't have the authorized keys file, so I will use SSH Copy ID, and I will explicitly put the file that I want to copy. Okay. On my remote file, the public key was copied, and now if I want to use SSH again, you will see that I'm prompted to enter the password. This is because the key inside my SSH, the ID RSA inside my .ssh directory doesn't exist. The key is inside http://livyubalan.com directory. So what I have to do is to use this command to specify to SSH the private key that I want to use. Now you don't have to specify the password of your remote user on your remote host, leave you at http://livyubalan.com, but you will have to type the passphrase for the private key. This is the passphrase that I've previously set up when I've generated my key the second time. Using a passphrase is giving you some extra measures when you connect to your web server using keys. But you have to think that if someone enters your computer, he already have access to your machine. So if he knows your password, for example, that attacker can generate another key and copy it remotely. So using a passphrase, it's giving you an extra security measure, but isn't 100% so reliable. My recommendation is not to use passphrase, because every time you have to connect to a remote server, you have to enter the password. So the idea of not entering any password is not so good implemented when you use passphrase, but it's your decision. Okay, so here I'm connected remotely, and what I want to show you is that, okay, you are using keys, but it's not a good idea to use keys and passwords. Most of the time you will use only keys authentication. So to remove the password authentication, you will have to go to the remote machine and edit SSH_config. Here you will have to search for password authentication, and here you will have to remove the comments and not use the password authentication. Now if you go to the client side and try to connect, you see that the keys came blocked. Okay, this is because I used the correct keys. So if I use only SSH without -e parameter, here I'm prompted to enter my password. Seems that the password works. But what I will have to do in order for this to work is to restart my SSH server. Now if I'm trying to connect to my remote machine, I get a permission denied because I'm forced to use only keys and not password authentication. Okay, some useful tips that I've told you at the beginning of this tutorial is that if you want to generate a password to be as hard to guess as a normal SSH key, a password would have to contain 634 random letters and numbers. So using keys is very secure rather than the passwords. If you're always be able to log into your computer using an SSH key, you should disable password authentication altogether. It's recommended to disable password authentication unless you have a specific reason not to. So the configuration that I've shown you, the one with no password authentication but based on keys, is the recommended one that I found by looking on the internet. But it depends on what you want to do. For example, I'm working on a collaborative project with a lot of users on a server, and most of us have to gain some access to another server. So me, user A, I have to see what user B is having on his machine. So to do this, I will connect using SSH, and I will use, for example, I can use password, and also I can use keys. The administrator of this server considered that using both authentication methods are suitable for our needs. So it depends on your needs. It depends if you are exposed to the internet or you are inside of a private network. It depends on your needs. So this was the presentation of SSH Key-Based Authentication. Don't forget to watch my other tutorials on YouTube and watch my website livybalan.com. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.